Okay, so chapter 10,041, Komurosaki. This chapter was sweet. Okay, there was so much awesomeness in this chapter. I was just like going crazy, right? Because we see a lot of the aftermath of what has happened since Big Mom got taken down and she got freaking destroyed, right? By our boy Law and Jaggy. You know what it is, right? So, okay, pretty much now this chapter is just covering like, the aftermaths of all of that. And it's just showing us a whole bunch of like, what the fuck kind of like, kind of little bits and pieces of information, right, that are kind of bringing everything together, right? Like, I think one of the biggest pieces of information that is kind of really like suspicious to me in a way that kind of got thrown in there, right, is the fact that the five elders kind of give, CP Agus that authority or authorization, right, to kind of eliminate Straw Hat Luffy. And that was kind of suspicious because if you remember, right, I'm not sure what chapter it might have been, right, but do you still remember that during that whole time when they were having the reverie and all that shit, right, Shanks showed up, right, and he kind of like had that meeting with them and he like talked to him and then he mentioned a certain pirate, right? So I know that there's a lot of speculation right now, kind of, right, that Shanks might be like, secretly evil, I'm trying to say, secretly a villain or secretly like something that's kind of not, not what it seems, right? Because I find it suspicious that after Shanks has that meeting with the five elders, right, all of a sudden now they want to come and like kill and eliminate Luffy. Does that seem a little suspicious to you, man? That seems fucked up to me because like you already know how Luffy feels about Shanks, and like if Shanks won, that's gonna be like one of those heartbreaking, One Piece type of dynamics that they always present us with. And it's gonna be interesting to see, right, if they take it in that direction, right? So another thing that kind of happened, was it like really major? I mean, like the other kind of stuff apart from that for me, right, were just kind of like, little things. Like, you get to see how Komurosaki, right, Hiyori, actually Odin's, daughter, right, kind of mentioned that the song that she plays for freaking, what's that eight-headed Hydra guy, the Orochi, right, the evil motherfucker who's been like, is the same song that Odin used to love when she used to play it for him, right? So the whole fact that there was that kind of like poetic justice, right? Because she even mentioned it too, like, the irony of like, being able to like, play that song, and that was the song that Odin liked, and then he kind of likes it too. Now the poetic justice is now she's gonna play that song, right? While she's probably gonna destroy and kill this nigga and finish him, or something's gonna happen to him, because she was talking about that sea, the sea stone that she used on him so that he wouldn't be able to transform, right? So maybe this is quite possibly that moment that she's been waiting on to take revenge for her dad. Let's go, because the way that Orochi did Odin was dirty, man. From watching that, like, well, reading that chapter, right, in the manga, and seeing Odin go through all of that, for me was just like, you know what, that was fucked up what he did to him. We already know that's fucked up, right? So now for his daughter now to kind of be in that position now, right, where this nigga's trapped under that sea stone, right? And since he's trapped under that sea stone, you know what time it is. You know what time. Okay. So apart from that too, right, we kind of get like Zoro, because remember how like last time, like maybe like two chapters ago, how you kind of saw that death figure like thing or whatever, right? And there's a lot of speculation around that. I really don't know what to make of that just yet, right? Because like I don't know where they're trying to take that direction of him seeing like the Grim Reaper, if it's like someone else's devil fruit, if it's like a personification of something, if it was in his mind, if it was like, I don't know, him fully becoming whatever, call himself the king of hell that time. And I don't even know where they're gonna go with that, right? But we see Frankie kind of like checking in on Zoro, right, to see if he's like kind of still alive, and kind of asking him if he's like still kicking and whatever, right? So I think like all in all, right, this chapter was pretty satisfying. Like, it was pretty good. We got a lot of information that we kind of like, needed to kind of fill in those blanks too, right? So even with Momonosuke talking to Yamato at the beginning, right, and kind of like saying that even though he read his father's journals, right, there's a lot of like pages that I guess Odin ripped out, right? Which is always interesting, because every single time, right, that I've noticed about the conclusion that they say, like, people reach different conclusions whenever they get to like, I don't know, to Laugh Tale, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see if like the reason that maybe he tore those pages out, right, is to see what conclusion Momonosuke is going to like reach when he he gets there, right? Kind of like what Rayleigh said when Luffy was going, right? And it was kind of wanted to see what his conclusion, and kind of like what Luffy's dad say Dragon about, like wanting to see what his conclusion or to whatever he sees there is going to be, right? So that's very interesting to have that mystery of saying that there might be some kind of decision or choice that's needed to be made, and maybe that might prove a worthiness, maybe that might show like who the true joy boy might be, or the will, like who knows at this point, right? There's a lot of stuff that's kind of like up in the air, right, regarding a lot that's going on right now. So yeah, like all in all, this chapter has been pretty dope. It's been pretty awesome. We also got to see, Kaido, fighting, with our boy Luffy. Yeah. All right. So they both kind of like sense that, how Traffy and Jaggy just kind of pretty much finished Big Mom. I gave her the kibosh. All right, she's done, bro. She's out of here, right? But what I also found interesting about that was the fact that how Zeus, right, the cloud that Nami now has or whatever, right, was still alive. Now that's interesting to me. I know it's a small detail, right? But if you kind of think about it, right, that's a part of Big Mom's devil fruit. Now I'm not really sure if like her inanimate objects can exist without her existing, since she has that devil fruit, right? Because that's a big kind of like a big reveal in a small way, because if Zeus is technically still alive and kicking and he's okay, right, even though he was showing remorse for like Big Mom being hurt, obviously makes sense, right? She might be alive, and I don't know, like, is she gonna just like pop out beasting back again, or is she just like kind of like alive, but then she's just gonna disappear until like all this talk of like how everybody's predicting that maybe she's gonna be like either an ally, or she's gonna show up with the whole Elbaf arc, the Elbaf arc that's gonna happen, right? If she's gonna come there and then she's gonna show up and craziness. It's like a lot of speculation with that Big Mom thing. But that's what I kind of noticed when I saw that Zeus was still alive. I was like, yeah, you already know that our girl is somewhere doing her thing. She kicking. She ain't dead. She alive. All right. So okay. So I guess to like conclude everything, right? We see that fight with Luffy and Kaido at the rooftop, right? So back to I was talking about how they kind of started realizing like Luffy recognizes that Traffy and Jaggy literally beat the shit out of like Big Mom, and he calls them like amazing, or whoever contributed to that fight, right? And then we also now get Kaido's side, right, where he kind of starts getting this flashback, I guess, to kind of like when they kind of first met, and it's the interaction between him and Big Mom, and he starts getting all emotional in a way, and he turns into the whipping drunk Kaido, what I'm trying to say, and he's kind of like lamenting about like how did he let this happen, since both of them had teamed up, right, to try and find the One Piece or whatever, right? So he kind of like mentions something about like his dreams, I guess, maybe of just getting that One Piece with her, right, which angers Luffy at the same time. Like he's kind of like weeping about that and whatever, right? And then Luffy's like, don't talk to me about your dreams, because your dreams made this country starve, right? And we see our boy use a Gomu Gomu no Gear Force. What is it? Is it a new move? I think it's a new move, because I haven't seen that, right? The Hydra, like maybe it could be old, and maybe I just missed it during like the whole interaction between him and Kaido, right? But it kind of felt like a new, move. So like he used that Hydra to kind of like punch him, right? And then he hits our boy Kaido or whatever, right? And then he kind of says, I'm not going to stop punching you. I'm not going to stop punching you. So that's every now boys go in beast mode, because that kind of reminds me of the whole thing, right? What happened with him and Lucy, right? When he was kind of like going ham with that Gatling gun, and he just kept going. So I wonder if like he's gonna do kind of like the same thing with Gear Forth and with this Hydra move, or it's gonna transform into another move, or whatever's gonna happen, right? But he's pretty much just gonna be beating the shit out of Kaido, right? So I don't know what's gonna go. And then with the whole CP Agus being like told to eliminate him, I don't know where that's gonna go to. So we just had to just watch and see where it's going, and thank goodness, luckily there's no breaks next week, right? So we can get right back into it and we can see where it's gonna go. Okay, well, thank you very much, guys, for listening to my review. As always, I encourage you to comment in the comments, if you have any other things that you might want to add, or that you might want to contribute, or that you might want to talk about, or any theories that you might, literally anything, man, is open for discussion, man. So feel free to comment and give me your thoughts, and let me know what you think about this chapter, or how it ties into other chapters, or whatever the hell it may be, man. So, all right, until next time, you already know, it's your boy, King with No Crown, aka King. Let's go. All right, until next time, guys. I'll holler at you later. Peace.